I know that all of our graduates deeply appreciate the time they spent here at McCombs, but when contemporary students are thinking about schools to go to, or when employers are thinking about schools to interview at, they often look at alumni participation as a measure, a tangible measure of the satisfaction that students have received at their institution.
If you compare who we are less than when it comes to giving rates, you'd be surprised. People who attended the University of Texas see ourselves as one of the elite public institutions in the country. And unfortunately, we're getting beaten by a lot of other public schools when it comes to the giving rates. You can think of any of the popular ones around the country, they're probably doing better than we are.
We have such a vast alumni population of over 80,000 out there. And it's alumni that's very proud, probably one of the proudest that we have nationally. But the level of giving at only 5% doesn't come anywhere in matching that pride and prestige that we have as McCombs alums.
You know, when I first started my MBA, we were ranked 12th. And in the middle of the class, the executive director came during our first semester and said, "Hate to break it to you, but the ranking just dropped to 17. Yeah, 5 points wasn't that big of a deal. But I think what it really showed was that, you know, there is a little thing can make that drop quite a bit, and the participation rate was one thing that was cited as one of the things that, you know, McCombs doesn't do a good job at compared to some of the other business schools.
I'd say it's time for a little education, because times have changed since we were here at UT. We used to tie our horses up out there at the front, you know, and the world has changed. And it is time to invest in McCombs to make sure that it continues to be the top-rated business school that it is.
You can't tell me that we don't give a better education than people get at the University of Oklahoma or people get at Texas A&M University. And yet their alums give back at a higher rate than our alums do. There's something wrong with that picture.
I've taught at the university now for 30 years, and I've seen a change in the students to where sustainability is a big part of their language these days. And I think that's really what we're talking to them about becoming donors, is that if you want the business school to be sustainable, then we need to also have your support and continued involvement in the school after you graduate.
There's a myth around UT that we have all this oil money and that UT is wealthy and we're a state school, so we're funded by the state. And there is some endowment money, there is some state support, but all of that is dwindling as a percentage of what UT needs for its budget. And so to get people to participate in philanthropic dollars are much more important now than they ever were before.
School is getting more expensive, and there is less funding to go along with that greater expense. And so if you don't have the money coming from the state, it has to come from somewhere else. And one of the best places that it can come from is from alumni. I mean, the idea is for us to continue to give back and support the program that we graduated from, and to continue to create opportunities for the generations that come behind us.
Competition for the very best students coming out of high school has intensified over the past 10 or 20 years. The way that schools compete for those students is through scholarship dollars. Many, if not most, of our alumni giving goes towards providing scholarships for students that want to come to the University of Texas.
Until 2 years ago, we never had freshman scholarships. So we were saying, great, we've got a good football team, Austin's a wonderful place, come here and be a student at the University of Texas. The other school saying, we're going to give you $10,000 a year plus these other opportunities.
We are competing with Chicago and UCLA and USC and Stanford and Georgetown, and they've got lots of money. Every little bit of support that we can get can help us.
The money and the resources that our alumni give have a very important effect on the quality of the education that's provided here at McCombs. It helps students through scholarships and it helps faculty through endowments to produce the kind of classroom experiences that we need to make our graduates as successful as our alumni have become.
The reason why I stay involved in supporting McCombs and the MBA Alumni Network is to give back to a school that I believe gave so much to me.
Unless we decide that it's important for our degree to be valued and recognized, not just in the state of Texas, but nationally and globally, because the world is changing, we need to change along with that, and we need to step up and be a part of that.
A gift of $5 or $500 or $5,000, in my view, sends the same message. I was happy with what I received at McCombs. I want to support the current endeavors.
It's not the amount, the size, it's just the actual act of doing it. And so the importance of giving a little bit and getting in the habit of doing that, every little bit adds up. If everybody does a little bit, then we have a large pool to work with.
It's like a dividend. And in the end, as you continue to give to McCombs, the more your degree grows in stature and strength. And this is the same way it is with Yale, Harvard, MIT, others, which are heavily endowed institutions where alumni giving is strong.
You have a diploma in your office that says a McCombs School of Business. It's something that everybody that visits you will look at, and I will tell you that the students we're attracting today and graduating are very, very high caliber and quality. The value of your diploma, obtained 25 years ago, is greater today than it was then because of the excellence that's being practiced at the McCombs School of Business. Anything that you can do to help support that will help increase that value to you.
This is really about alumni taking some ownership over the future of the school. You can leave it in the hands of administrators and of people who work here, but that can only go so far.
We need to step up and actually do something and move things along as alumni.
And education is a privilege, and we have to do our part to make sure that it's sustained for those to come after us.
It's our turn to get involved. It's our turn to lead, and it's our turn to make the alumni network what we want it to be.
I am fully supportive of Dean Gilligan's vision to increase the prestige of the University of Texas business degree programs through the Our Turn campaign. It's through your participation and through your ambassadorship that we will dramatically increase participation of the alumni throughout the network. It's clearly a win-win. It's good for you because your degree becomes more valuable, and it's good for the university because we get better candidates that come in year after year. Thanks for your participation, and thanks for taking your turn.